first. So with that, I'm going to open the public hearing on LD 769, an act to reduce the enrollment requirement for minor political parties that seek official party status, presented by Senator Brakey of Androscoggin. And Senator Brakey, if you could just turn on the mic before you begin your testimony. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hopping right in. Senator Hickman, Representative Suppica, members of the Joint Standing Committee on Veterans and Legal Affairs. I am Senator Eric Brakey, representing the people of Auburn, New Gloucester, Poland, and Durham. Thank you for your presence today as I present LD 769, an act to reduce the enrollment requirement for minor political parties that seek official party status. Biodiversity is important, not only for a healthy world, but also for a healthy political ecosystem. In a system dominated by only two political parties, both have a tendency to become reflections of each other. Small policy differences, like whether tax rates should be 34% or 37%, are often made to appear larger than they are in order to provide some sense of differentiation to voters. At the same time, our system maintains blind spots to major questions of the day, in which unspoken agreements exist between major party establishments over matters as weighty as war, environmental pollution, central banking, our ongoing national bankruptcy. A healthy political ecosystem must maintain space for third parties. They remind us there are more than two sides to any issue, putting forward perspectives that established orders would often ignore. They would often rather ignore, even when that comes to the detriment of society. Maine, especially among the states of our union, consistently demonstrates the value for third ways. Over 26% of Maine voters are currently unenrolled, preferring not to sign on with either major party. Maine people want options, and yet only one third party, the Green Independent Party, has managed to maintain the high threshold standards for ballot access and party recognition in the state of Maine. And I will say, even there, I think that I know a lot of folks who sign Green Independent because they consider themselves independent and they're looking for the place to check off independent, and they don't understand unenrolled is independent. So even that kind of relies on a bit of a gimmick in order to maintain ballot access. Especially as our state experiments with new systems of voting in our general elections, including ranked choice voting and legislation I'll present later this session for multi-party fusion tickets. What is the point in building systems for more options when those options do not expand? That is why, at the request of the Libertarian Party of Maine, which, in the interest of full disclosure, I'll say, while I'm a registered member of the Republican Party, I'm also a member of the Maine Libertarian Party. I am presenting LD 769 for consideration to this committee, which would simply reduce from 10,000 to 5,000 the minimum number of voters required to be enrolled in a party for that party to qualify to participate in an election. Under current thresholds, established parties only have to sign a piece of paper to get their candidate on the ballot for president. Meanwhile, minor parties spend upwards of $100,000 and countless hours just to qualify for ballot access. This bill would help correct that imbalance and promote a healthier political biodiversity for Maine. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'd be happy to take any questions to the best of my ability, though I will note, I believe that there are some others following me who have specifically requested this legislation who may be able to speak more in depth to any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Senator Brakey. Are there any questions from the committee or the bill sponsor at this time? Chair recognizes Representative Reisman.
Thank you, Senator. Green has built forward. You alluded to the confusion around the name Green Independent, unenrolled and independent. Would you be open to some sort of amendment to this to require the Green Independent Party to change its name to not include the word independent, and in the future not allow any party to use the phrase independent in their terminology?
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting point. I think it would be outside the scope of this bill. I'm not certainly coming here suggesting that we should, force parties to change their name. But I think if you did lower the threshold to qualify for the ballot, I think parties would be less reliant on kind of name gimmicks in order to get people to check the box for their party.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from the committee for Senator Brakey? Seeing none.